Deputy rolls a stop sign and causes a violent crash. So we were wondering, why was the victim arrested?
A deputy's changing story may have changed one woman's life forever. Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson is here. He's been looking into it.
That's right. Brad and Tanya Weyker was hurt so badly in the crash she couldn't blow into a breath testing device or perform standard field sobriety tests. But another sheriff's deputy arrested her for drunk driving anyway, and the county hung those charges over her head for nearly a year, even long after blood tests proved she was perfectly sober.
There are some moments in life we choose to preserve, and others we just as soon forget. For Tanya Weyker, one memory is especially painful.
I was just driving straight and he hit me.
Not just the crash that broke her neck in 4 places, but the false accusations that followed.
My reputation is everything to me.
At the age of 25, Weyker's criminal history is as flawless as her posture. She was diagnosed with cancer at age 3, and the prolonged radiation treatments literally curved her spine, so doctors inserted metal rods to keep her back straight. The lifelong medical complications have not stopped her from pursuing a college degree or from driving a car. In fact, Weyker had never gotten so much as a speeding ticket.
Can I have a moment to talk to you?
Until the night she crossed paths with Milwaukee County Deputy Sheriff Joseph Keelis.
I have nothing further to say, sir.
It was February 20th, 2013, and Deputy Keelis was working the night shift on patrol at Mitchell Airport. As he pulled out onto Howell Avenue to make his rounds, he T-boned a passing car and sent it spinning into a tree.
Very scary.
Weyker's spine was already fused with steel. Now, she had a fractured neck to go with it.
It was just a miracle that I wasn't paralyzed.
As rescue workers tended to Weyker, police and sheriff's deputies started asking questions.
One deputy asked if I had anything to drink that night, and I told him how I just had a few sips of a friend's drink.
A deputy noted a light odor of alcohol on her breath. He said her speech was slurred and her eyes looked red and glassy.
I explained to him that my eyes are only red and glassy because I was crying.
When asked about her use of prescription drugs, Weyker says she told the truth.
Just had gotten my wisdom teeth out, so they prescribed me Vicodin for that, and I told them it's been a little over a week since I took the Vicodin.
Her injuries were too severe to allow for any field sobriety tests. She couldn't even give a breath sample, but a deputy arrested her anyway for drunk driving causing injury.
They made me into this criminal.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Weyker's mom raced to the hospital to find deputies standing guard.
She was in traction. She was just laying there. And then she was crying, and she said they accused her, they arrested her, and they accused her of something that she didn't do.
Very unusual.
Her lawyer, Todd Korb, says the arrest is surprising since there was virtually no evidence that she was drunk.
I can't say that it was necessarily a cover-up, but it certainly is suspicious.
In his official report, Deputy Keelis wrote that he stopped at the stop sign and looked both ways before pulling out. He said he never saw any headlights, even though Weyker's Camry had lights that come on automatically.
I knew I was innocent this whole time.
The truth might never have surfaced were it not for video from a nearby airport surveillance camera. It's hard to see, but investigators say that is Deputy Keelis heading west on Hutsteiner and turning onto Howell. You can see his vehicle doesn't make a complete stop, as Keelis claimed in his report. That's when Weyker comes into the picture and the cars collide. Moments later, Deputy Keelis turns on his lights and calls it in. The sheriff's department knew about the video just 2 days after the crash, but no one told Weyker. Instead, the county sent letter after letter blaming her for the crash and threatening legal action if she didn't pay for the damage.
It's so frustrating.
If Weyker had been drunk, it would have been easy to pin the blame on her. But less than a month after the crash, test results showed she had no alcohol in her system. And by July, her drug test came back negative too. 5 months after the crash, it was clear Weyker had been stone cold sober. But still, the case didn't go away.
I don't think it's fair at all.
5 more months passed before a prosecutor finally looked at the case and declined to file charges. But even then, Weyker says she was left in the dark.
No one called me.
It wasn't until 10 months after the crash that internal investigators at the sheriff's office conducted this interview with Deputy Keyless.
I've been told I rolled the stop sign at Howell and Hutsteiner.
Told that a video existed, he finally acknowledged his original statement was wrong.
You believe that you probably did roll?
Yes, I do.
And because of that, you believe that you're at fault for this accident?
That's correct.
2 months ago, Deputy Keyless was still listed as active in the airport division of the sheriff's office, but he told the judge in his child support case that he's been on medical leave ever since the crash.
Can I have a moment to talk to you?
He was officially suspended for 9 days for violating traffic laws and damaging county equipment, but he was never disciplined for the inaccurate report that caused Weyker so much trouble.
I wrote my reports and that's about it.
Can you explain why you said that you stopped completely?
Nothing further to say, sir.
Do you understand what Tanya Weyker's been through because of that? You changed your story, and she was treated like a criminal. Don't you think you owe her some answers?
I think he was just trying to protect himself and the department, to be honest.
At 95 pounds, Tanya Weyker may look like a pushover, but don't be fooled.
A lot of people are too afraid to stick up for themselves against someone in such high power.
After all, her spine is made of steel.
The DA declined to file charges against Weyker, and Deputy Keyless has admitted he was at fault, but Weyker is still waiting for the county to pay her medical bills. Her attorney says damages could top $1 million. However, state law puts a cap of $250,000 on claims against government agencies. Meanwhile, Weyker has filed a separate complaint against the deputy who arrested her, a different deputy, for the drunk driving. It could be a precursor to a civil rights lawsuit against the county, for which there is no cap on damages.
But what about the deputy who actually hit her? Is he going to be driving a patrol car at any time again?
It doesn't look like he's going to be driving one anytime soon. He hasn't worked in more than a year since the crash. He has exhausted his injury pay and has now apparently filed for permanent duty disability for injuries suffered in the crash he caused. That application is still pending before the county's employee retirement system. All of this despite the fact that reports written at the time of the crash indicate Deputy Keyless was treated and released for minor injuries.
Oh my goodness, so many layers. One of the things that stands out for me, you said the sheriff's department knew about this video 2 days after the crash, but never advised her, just kept on pushing away at this. Any word from Sheriff Clark on this?
I did ask for an interview on multiple occasions, and through a spokesperson, he declined, so I wasn't able to get a direct answer to that question.
Wow.
Thank you, Brian.
You got it.